Hi everyone, welcome back to another timeless reading. Today I'm going to be doing a pick-a-pile reading, which I have never done before. As I'm saying this little fluffy seed pod just floated across my screen. I don't know if you can see that. It reminds me of like a little dandelion flower, but maybe that's significant to you. Maybe you're seeing like feathers in random places. That could be a sign of confirmation for someone. But anyway, I'm going to do a pick-a-pile reading. I've never done a reading in this style, but I really enjoy watching them. So I'm going to have 3 separate objects that I show to you guys, and whichever object or objects resonates with you, I'm going to do a reading for. So maybe there will be a message for you in one of these specific objects that I'm going to show. So the first object is going to be this little quartz crystal cluster. It's kind of shaped like a star or a flower, so maybe that resonates with you. I bought this at a gem and mineral show with my dad several years ago, and I just loved the shape, thought it was so beautiful. So yeah, maybe that resonates. That's pile 1, this crystal. Pile 2 is going to be this little fairy. This little fairy figurine. Looks like she has like a daisy on her head. The color palette also kind of reminds me of sunflowers, so maybe you resonate with sunflowers. This is for reading pile number 2. My cat just meowed, so maybe you have a cat. Hi, Tiggy. Okay, and pile number 3 is gonna be this stone mask. Some ASMR for you guys. The texture kind of reminds me of like pumice stone. So yeah, this is for pile number 3. Okay guys, let's dive right in. Pile 1. This is for those of you who chose pile 1. This little quartz crystal cluster. This is your reading. Okay, I'm gonna start out with a few cards from the Nature's Whispers Oracle cards. This deck is so beautiful. I love the imagery in it. Okay, for pile 1, Spirit, what does pile 1 need to know? What's going on for pile number 1? We have card number 41, Be in Service, and it's like this little mermaid looking card, or mermaid looking figure with a seahorse. I feel like seahorses were coming through my last reading that I did too, so if you haven't watched that one, my last reading might actually resonate with you. 4 and 1 equal 5, obviously, so you may be at a crossroads in your life where you are trying to decide between 2 paths. That's what I associate with the number 5. Please, Spirit, what else for pile number 1? The collective that resonated with the first pile. Higher Ground, number 20. And you have like this childlike figure coming out of this rose. There's some sheep on a pasture in the background. The number is 20. When I see 2s, I think of like partnerships. It doesn't have to be romantic. It can be like a business partnership. There's a river and some mountains in the background of this card as well. And then number 25, Keep Your Dreams Alive. And it's this child like blowing a kiss or like blowing some like magic fairy dust. And I think there's a crystal coming from what this person is blowing, which is interesting. Oh my God, and there's also like a dandelion. That's so interesting, because literally at the beginning of this reading, that little dandelion pod just floated past the screen. So I feel like this is major confirmation for anyone that resonated with this pile. You're definitely meant to be watching this right now. But yeah, we have the crystal, which obviously was the object associated with this pile, the dandelion, some flowers, some doves, or some type of white bird. This is just like a very dreamy energy. Okay, so we have be in service, higher ground, and keep your dreams alive for pile number 1. Some of you may be at this crossroads in your life where you're trying to look deeper within and figure out what is going to fulfill you moving forward. I'm just getting this energy of like, I don't want to say confusion, but I think that you may have been in a position in your life where something that you were doing or devoting your time to just wasn't quite like giving you that feeling of deep satisfaction that you crave out of what you're putting your energy towards. And you may be reassessing some things in your life and just feeling a call to devote your energy towards things that are a bit more community oriented, serving this like authentic part of yourself that craves expression. You may be drawn to working with children. Maybe you're trying to have children. Like, all of the figures in these cards are just like very childlike. You may also be like doing some inner child healing work, or maybe you feel called to things like social work or psychology, in a way where you could help kids. Yeah, I'm just getting this vibe of like you craving almost like a higher purpose. And somehow I do feel like that is relating to either children or your own inner child. You may be lately feeling really nostalgic for your childhood and reflecting a lot about the priorities or passions of your past. I think some of you guys may be in this state right now where you're starting to realize that you've let some of your dreams die. Dreams from your childhood, aspirations that were really important to you in your youth, and that's not sitting right with you, and you're feeling this call to honor yourself by actually pursuing those things. And I'm seeing that like the pursuit of your highest passions, whatever those things are, is going to lead to like this deeper unfolding from your heart, and it's going to have a huge ripple effect in your community as well. I feel like when we actively pursue our heart's calling, it creates these like quantum ripples from outwards from us and our field, that call in the situations and opportunities that like truly will nurture our highest path. You may be called also to like working with nature or the environment, some of you. You may be having really like vivid or psychic dreams. All 3 of these cards show water and flowers. When I see water imagery in the readings, I feel like that typically represents emotion. So you may be like experiencing a lot of like deep waves of emotion out of nowhere. Things might be coming up from your past that are surprising you, not necessarily in a bad way. It feels just more like you're in a state of heightened psychic sensitivity, and it's helping you process some stuff. Again, it could be inner child stuff. It could be things with a child if you have a kid or children. And when I see flowers, they to me just represent like new beginnings, unfoldings, like letting your inner light shine. Also, like the object that I associated with this reading, this quartz cluster, I don't know if I said this earlier, but it looks like a star to me. So again, you may be having really prophetic dreams right now. If you've been feeling called to do any dream work, I feel like that would be really good for you guys. So anyway, that's what the oracle cards had to say, but I want to pull some more. I'm going to use this fairy deck. It's called Fairy Tarot Cards. I've used this, I believe, in some readings before on this channel. So let's clarify this stuff a little bit. Let's see what's going on with pile number 1. Whoa, okay. Okay, yeah, so this is definitely giving me like career-oriented energy. So again, you may be in a place in your life where you're feeling just like a bit stuck in your career. It's not feeling totally fulfilling to you. And you're definitely at a crossroads right now, just kind of trying to figure out like what to do with your energy moving forward. Wow. Okay, some of you guys are moving towards being self-employed. So you guys have the King of Autumn, which says compassionate, accomplished, charismatic, and gifted. Be assertive when it comes to what you know is right. Everything going your way. A good person or company to work for. That's the first card that you guys got. He's holding a staff with like a purple amethyst cluster on it. There's a dog at his feet. Maybe that resonates with some of you guys. And then you got the Two of Winter. Indecision is holding you back. Make the choice that's best for you rather than trying to please others. Feeling trapped between the intellectual and emotional. And it looks like he's looking at 2 different instruments. There's also a fire in the background of this card. I feel like some of you guys might be creative people, or trying to choose between 2 different creative directions, maybe in a career or just like in terms of your passions or hobbies. Then you have the Nine of Autumn. She's also playing an instrument in this card, by the way. Reward yourself for all your hard work, being happily and successfully self-employed, cherishing your time alone. So yeah, I think some of you guys might need to unplug a little bit, really reconnect with your inner child and those like deeper subconscious priorities that have been driving you. And assess if you want to keep going down the path that you've been walking. If you've been feeling a call to switch things up in terms of your career, I think now is a really auspicious time for you to start moving towards that and just honoring any feelings that have been coming up when it comes to like, you know, unsatisfaction. Because you have all the tools to accomplish whatever it is you're trying to accomplish in that regard. Yeah, this middle card, the Two of Winter, where it's got this like fire burning behind him, I feel like you're in a position where like you may actually have a few different options that would all be good paths to go down. I'm not really seeing a sense of there being a bad decision, so to speak. It may just be a matter of going with whatever is like stoking your inner fire more. You also have some loyal people around you. You have this like, that's my interpretation of this dog in the corner of this card. You have some like loyal friends around you or loyal professional connections that would potentially be able to help you move into this new phase towards a more fulfilling path creatively. And you can trust that and you can trust yourself. Yeah, it's just telling you to go for it essentially. And again, some of you guys might just be in a position where you're trying to decide if it's worth moving your career or business to a state of self-employment and having a bit more responsibility. If that's something that you've been thinking about, making that decision is going to lead to so much abundance. Like in the background of this Nine of Autumn card, there's these grapes, there's a tomato, there's just like kind of a feast or like a harvest behind her. So I feel like it's just encouraging you to like view this entire situation in a more positive and confident light. And don't be afraid to like give yourself a pat on the back for all the things that you've already accomplished that have led you to this point. Whatever this is, if it's feeling like a mental burden to try to decide between multiple options, the energy I'm getting is that this is like a good problem to have. You literally can't make a bad choice. It's just a matter of whether or not you are ready to step up to a new level within your career or whether you want to keep doing what you're doing. But it's telling me that if you make a heart-centered choice that feels authentic and really resonates, even if it feels a little bit risky, it's telling me that somehow that is going to be of service to other people, like on a quantum sense or an energetic sense. Maybe you're like for example, again, this may not resonate with everyone, but maybe some of you grew up in a family that put a lot of pressure on you to excel academically, or go into certain career fields. Like, I'm thinking of the classic examples of like lawyer, doctor. Like, maybe you had a family that really pushed you hard to excel when it came to academics or career. And maybe you feel that you resonate more with the arts and you're like wanting to leave a safe corporate job and go into a job that's a bit more creative or free-spirited or within the realms of acts of service or charity work. Maybe you're feeling a bit of hesitation because you just weren't raised to prioritize those things. But if you're feeling it in your heart space that is something you need to move towards, it's just showing me this like beautiful energy. Like, literally there's not a single card in this reading that feels like jarring or bad. It's really just a matter of what you feel comfortable pursuing. But if some of you guys needed confirmation that you're on the right track with these ideas and dreams you've been having, you absolutely are. And I feel like you have some like ancestral support as well, like that little dandelion pod or whatever that fluffy thing was that literally like drifted right into the camera frame as I was starting this reading. It just felt very like ethereal, and yeah, I think making choices that feel truly aligned with our values and feel like they're coming straight from the heart. I think it feels risky because we have fears sometimes around like if our choices will be understood or accepted with our family or society. But I think sometimes making those challenging decisions can literally heal like your ancestral line, and can kind of rebalance the karmic scales in the sense that people connected to your family lineage or ancestry may not have even had the freedoms to make decisions like this in the past, because, you know, we're moving out of a paradigm where the structures around our life purposes were a lot more rigid. We're entering a time where we have so much more freedom in general to like pursue our heart's desires, and I feel like this reading is just really telling you to not take that for granted and to just trust in the unfolding of it all. So that's beautiful. That was for pile 1. Hopefully that resonated. Yeah, and on the bottom of the deck as I'm putting these cards away is the World. A brilliant success, the freedom to go in any direction, a journey that is now complete. So if you've been, again, putting your energy into something that's just not doing it for you anymore, that cycle's over. If you're feeling the need to move on, it's because you've completed all the work you need to do within that cycle, and it's time for you to move forward. Oh my God, that card literally like sprung out of my hand. That has never happened before. It's time for you to move forward and to let your light shine. Like that, even just the energy of that card, like it literally like jumped out of my hand. That is what Spirit is encouraging you to do. Just leap forward and trust yourself, and don't be afraid to be a star, essentially. Don't be afraid to be a star, because that is what you are, babes. Okay, that was pile 1. Wow, beautiful. Yeah, I love the energy that just came from that. Okay. Now on to pile 2. Okay, if you chose pile 2, if you resonated with this little fairy, then this is your reading. Okay, my pile 2 people. What deck do I want to use for you? I'm feeling like love reading energy for this fairy for some reason, so I think I want to use my love deck. Maybe this one too. Yeah. I'm also doing the cards in a different order than I usually do. Typically, I'll like read the tarot cards first and then clarify with oracle decks, but for some reason today I've been feeling like doing the opposite. So maybe for some of you, especially if you're in like a new love situation, maybe you've been feeling called to do things differently than you typically do. Maybe you've done a lot of work around your patterns and ways that you unconsciously behave in relationships, and you could be feeling called to like shake things up a bit and try new things. Or maybe you're changing the way that you're dating or like seeking relationships if you're single. For example, maybe you've only met people organically and now you want to try the apps, or vice versa. Maybe you've had no luck with the apps and you're wanting to meet people more so in real life and see if that yields the result that you're wanting from your love life. Maybe you've been in a relationship for a really long time and you need to kind of move the energy and try some new stuff with your partner to feel closer. I don't know why that just came through, but we're going to use the Enchanted Love Tarot. I just got this deck recently and I've used it a few times and I really like it. But I'm still learning this deck, so bear with me if I have to look up some of the cards. Okay, so this is for pile 2. If you chose that little fairy figurine. I'm getting fairy imagery already in these cards, which is interesting because I don't know that I've really noticed any fairies in this deck before. Okay, Spirit, what for pile 2? What does pile 2 need to know? Wow, okay. Some of you guys are so loving and nurturing, and you may have been in a lot of relationship experiences that were not reciprocal in that regard. I think for the people resonating with this portion of the reading, I think a lot of you have found yourself in these dynamics where it's very natural and easy for you to love your partner. You tend to really see the good in people. And you kind of go through the world like in this open-hearted way, just like wanting to love and take care of people. But I think because of that, you may have attracted some people who really tested your patience and left you feeling a bit out in the cold. Like you may have been attracting like empath, narcissist dynamics. You may have found yourself being a caretaker a lot in your relationships, and that could have to do with like childhood trauma. Maybe you had absent parents and you had to constantly parent your own parents, essentially. Maybe you had to grow up really fast just for your own survival, and that's part of why being like a caregiver feels very natural to you. But this dynamic may have left you feeling really defeated. You may be like fresh out of a breakup that felt like you were constantly taking care of your partner, and that wasn't like given back to you. This also could be like a non-romantic relationship. This could be with a family member, or a parent, or a friend even. It could be a close friend where you have a weird dynamic like that where like you're constantly rushing to their rescue and trying to nurture them, and they just kind of take advantage of you. But I'm seeing that in time, you having patience and being like perceptive and aware of the signs around you and your own body consciousness is going to lead you to this greater sense of joy. Also, these shells in this card, the imagery is just reminding me of spirals, like a spiral staircase. There's this idea that as we ascend in our human journey, we're like going, it's not linear. It's not like a straight line like an elevator. It's more like a spiral staircase. And you may find yourself sometimes as you're going up those flights of stairs, you may find yourself in a familiar position again, where you're kind of like, oh, this feels like really familiar. This feels like an old cycle I don't want to repeat. But it's just because you're passing a lower cycle on that stairwell on your way up. I don't know if that makes sense. I'm trying to like do a visual so it's easier to articulate. But even as I was explaining that, I don't know if y'all notice this leaf like dropping behind me. You may just be feeling a general sense of like kind of defeat or lack of confidence, because you may find yourself in a situation that is reminding you of old patterns and cycles that you've already been through, and you're like, oh fuck, am I like back here again? Am I about to repeat this pattern? You're not going to. You're moving out of it. But this period is like a little bit vulnerable for you, because I'm getting the sense that these new tools and awarenesses that you have are not necessarily fully integrated yet. So just be mindful of that. If you've been in a lot of relationship dynamics where you're just not met with the type of reciprocity you want, be aware of how you're showing up in those dynamics and how you are helping co-create them, whether it's with a partner, a family member, a friend, a professional connection. We're pretty much always responsible for 50% of a dynamic. Obviously, there are some situations that are completely beyond our control, but I think that applies to most relationships that we're in. So yeah, it's beautiful. It's beautiful that you have this like big loving heart and nurturing personality, but some people can take advantage of that. So if you've been wanting to like put yourself out there again in some way, especially if it's love or dating, but even if it's like in career or friendships, have some patience and really take your time when you're getting to know people. Really take your time as you're entering new dynamics. Check in with yourself. Ask yourself, like, is this fulfilling me? And is this person or a situation like making me feel safe, making my life feel easier? Or is this person taking advantage of me? And even after periods of defeat, even if you've been in situations of defeat, you can still take that energy and use it as fuel to have like metamorphosis in your life, to create new life from it. All of the things we experience in our lives are simply for our growth. And when you view things as lessons, I think it's a lot easier to reframe it as something positive instead of a defeat or a failure. Okay, let me pull from this other deck, the Akashic Tarot. I love this deck. We're gonna get some clarity on these cards. For pile number 2, Spirit, what does pile 2 need to know? What does the collective need to know that resonated with pile 2? Some of you may be journaling, or for some of you, journaling might be really helpful if that's been something like on the forefront of your mind that you've been wanting to explore. That might help you process some of this stuff that's been coming up in your life over and over. You also may be pursuing something with writing. You may be writing messages to people. But yeah, it's time for you to explore some new paths. Again, I'm just getting this energy of like repeated cycles. Like I think you've kind of been stuck in some dynamics where it's been like the same thing reflected over and over again with different people, or it's like the same lesson being repeated in different situations. But you're getting to the point where you're like, I see, that was all for my growth. I think I've learned this lesson now. I'm ready for some new stuff. So yeah, some of you guys may be facing some new opportunities soon. There's the path of your past, which you could keep repeating and getting probably different versions of the same result. Or you can trust yourself and move forward. But either way, it's really important that you are protective of yourself right now, and of your inner light. It's beautiful to have a big nurturing heart. It's beautiful to like want to love and take care of people no matter who they are. But when you show up in that like light, loving energy, there are unfortunately going to be people on your path who try to take advantage of that. So if you've been having some confusion around any relationships in your life, stay in your body and be aware of things around you that could be signs. You don't want to be putting out other people's fires constantly. You want to be focusing on your own happiness. Okay, one more card for pile number 2, Spirit. Yeah, you're doing something with writing. You're doing something with writing, storytelling. And maybe this is just like an indication that like you're reaching a new level of self-mastery. Self-mastery when it comes to like how you show up in your relationships. Again, this could be romantic, it could be business. I don't know what storyline this is bringing up for you, but yeah, if you've been experiencing both ends of the spectrum in terms of like joy and disappointment, and it's been leaving you feeling a little bit off kilter and like you want more balance in your life, I think it would be really, really helpful to write some of that out. You have so much like scroll energy in this spread. I think the scrolls in this particular tarot deck are the same as the swords in the traditional deck, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. Let me look. Swords are like logic. Logic, the mind. Let's see. I'm actually just gonna read this Queen of Scrolls card if I can find it. Where is it? Sorry guys, give me 1 second. Okay, here we go. Sometimes the cards really hide. Where the heck is it? So sorry guys. Thank you for your patience. Okay, geez, that took so long to find this. Maybe this like journey you've been on has taken a really long time. Again, I am getting the patience card. And again, having a lot of scrolls energy. When I think of a scroll, it's like a long piece of paper. Like sometimes in movies, they'll have scenes where someone's like unraveling a scroll and it just goes on and on and on. Maybe this has been like a really long cycle for you that's closing out. Anyway, I'm going to read this description for this Queen of Scrolls card because this is really what's standing out to me the most in this spread. Thanks for waiting while I found that. A beautiful woman holds a scroll as she stands in front of a sunlit archway. Around her swirls the energy of wisdom, knowledge, and Akashic truth. When this card appears upright, she brings important information and inspiration to you. The Queen of Scrolls is a woman of higher mind who you may already know or have yet to meet. Her purpose is to help you move through the entryway to a new level of wisdom and understanding. She could be a teacher to you in some way or offer a friendship that could develop into a deeper love. This woman could be helpful to you in some project requiring communication. She may be an author, marketer, or a publisher. If you are a writer, she may be someone who assists you in getting published. The Queen of Scrolls could also represent you or a woman in your life getting a position in a field related to communication or academics, such as counseling, teaching, marketing, or publishing. This card indicates a phase of deepening understanding and readiness to learn. It's the perfect time for personal growth and expansive learning, whether it's mind, body, or spirit-centered. Open the mysteries that are hidden in the Akashic Scrolls and step through the door of knowledge. That's interesting that I misspoke and just said that this card indicates a phrase when it actually said phase in this description book. So again, this could have to do with some changes in your life centering around writing or speaking. If it's not related to like career or some sort of business relationship or business move, this could also just be in your relationships and in your life in general. You may be stepping into this like energy where you feel a lot more capable of articulating your feelings, your needs to the people around you. Obviously, that's going to have an amazing, beautiful ripple effect in your relationships if you're able to step in this energy of confidence in that way and just speak clearly on what you want and what your expectations are. Because through all of these experiences, you have developed this deeper wisdom and understanding of yourself and of human nature. So yeah, it's just giving me this like boss bitch energy. Maybe some of you guys are like graduating. For some reason, I'm getting that some of y'all watching this may be nurses. Maybe you went to nursing school or medical school. And that was a really insane process for you, and now you're graduating or you've graduated and you're going to be able to use those skills to move forward in a way that feels empowering to you and other people. It is just giving me this like badass energy, like bad bitch, like badass dude, like yeah, it's just this like overwhelming sense of like accomplishment. So yeah, again, whatever this is, whether it's a relationship, a career, some sort of achievement in your life, something family oriented, it's just calling you to really trust this upgraded version of yourself in your life. Don't be afraid to use your voice, because it could have a powerful effect for both you and for other people. And again, I feel really strongly compelled to say this. Journaling might be super important for some of you guys right now. Journaling or writing. Maybe it's like writing things and sharing it online, using your voice to like share your writings in a public setting. So yeah, that was for pile number 2. I hope that resonated. My little fairy friends who chose this. Yeah, I am getting nursing stuff actually really strongly because I'm thinking about this object that I chose for this pile. And when I bought this, it was discounted because one of the wings had fallen off and they had re-glued it. And when I got it home, the same wing fell off and I had to re-glue it. And it's just making me think of injuries. So yeah, some of you guys might be nurses or like working in the healing arts somehow. And maybe you're just learning how to like use your gifts more effectively. Or maybe you're furthering your education or you've graduated. Again, I don't know why I'm getting that at the end of this reading. Anyway, she's not damaged. She has character. Mwah. Okay, that was pile 2. Put these cards away. Where did these come from? Okay. My lovely pile 3 babies. If you chose this stone mask, pile number 3, then this is your reading. This is so cool. I think I got this at a thrift store. It had like a really interesting energy. I don't know where it's from, don't know anything about it, but maybe you like thrifting or collecting old things. I'm gonna use my favorite tarot deck of all time, the Voyager Tarot. You have definitely seen me use these cards on this channel before. And we're just gonna jump right in. Pile number 3, Spirit, what do they need to know? The collective that resonated with pile number 3. Whoa. Wow, I've never gotten this card before. And it's interesting because there's actually masks in it. Wow, which is the object that I chose for this pile. This card is called Devil's Play. I don't know if you can see these masks in the background. There's also these like stone statues. There's a mushroom behind it. A goat. Interesting. Okay, I'm gonna have to read the description on this card because like I said, in all the times I've used this, I've never gotten it. There's also someone playing a flute. There's fireworks. Yeah, lots of stone, which again is so interesting given the object that I chose for this. Nine of Crystals, narrowness. I'm getting like self-limiting belief system energy from this spread already. Self-limiting belief systems, maybe distractions. You may struggle with addiction. Maybe that's been something you've been trying to overcome. You may just struggle with like narrow-mindedness in general, or like feelings of constriction, like maybe you find yourself in a lot of situations in your life where you almost feel like the walls are like constantly closing in on you. You might have anxiety or struggle with anxiety. You may also have people around you. Oh my God. You may also have people around you who don't have your best interests in mind. I'm sorry, guys. I don't want that for you. That's just the energy that I'm getting from these cards. Wow. Some of you may be trying to get sober. Some of you may be trying to get sober, or maybe you're newly sober and you're on a new trajectory into a chapter of your life where you're prioritizing yourself instead of like quick dopamine hits or the pursuit of pleasure. It's just giving me this energy of like moving out of this kind of chaotic state in your life and into this state of focus, mastery of the mind, wanting some more awareness of self in terms of like your own shadow sides and patterns. If this has nothing to do with like substances or sobriety, I think it's just talking about moving out of a phase of your life where maybe you were taken advantage of a lot. Maybe you were just kind of loosey-goosey with your priorities in a way that wasn't allowing you to move forward in the way you wanted. Maybe you were in a lot of toxic relationships, whether that's with friends, partners, family, job. But it's showing me that you're getting out of this mindset of like constriction and narrowness and into a phase where you feel really successful and connected to like the energy you're showing up in. Yeah, you're striving towards a new perspective in your life. And you're entering a state where you not only are willing to look at yourself clearly, like look at yourself in the mirror and just call it for what it is, but you're actually like actively seeking that and welcoming that. I'm definitely getting for some of y'all this might be related to substances. Substances or alcohol, whether that's you or a person you know or are close to. Not for everybody, but for some of you. It could also, again, just have to do with emotional patterns. Maybe you have been stuck in cycles in the past where you've really entertained like negative self-talk and you're trying to move into a new energy of confidence and self-love, and not only moving away from other people's bullshit, but not wanting to put up with your own bullshit. Yeah, but that's like, you could have a lot of fear coming up right now when it comes to these things. You might also just have a general fear of your own emotions. Literally in this card is like a spilled cup. It's like a cup that's spilling into the ocean. This is the cup. I don't know if you can see because my camera's not really focusing, but you have all of these like weird ocean creatures that almost look like sea monsters or something. So yeah, you may just be doing a lot of deep shadow work right now, and it could be bringing up a lot of fear for you. Could be bringing up a lot of fear and insecurity and self-doubt. It could feel like there's just this wave crashing down on you, and you like all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, I don't even know how to swim. Like, how am I going to get through this? But it's showing me that whatever you're moving through right now is going to be successful. It's interesting that there's Saturn in this card because Saturn is also pictured in this first card, Devil's Play, that came out. Some of you guys might be going through your Saturn return. If you've never heard that term used, definitely look it up. It will apply to you if you are in your late 20s, early 30s, or if you are in your late 50s to early 60s. So I doubt there's anyone in their 90s watching this, but if you're turning 90, it could also apply to you. But yeah, read about your Saturn return. Saturn represents the energy of like, it's like the strict father energetically when it comes to the planets and how Saturn shows up in astrology. It rules the structure of our daily lives. It rules discipline, self-mastery. A lot of times the energy of Saturn is kind of interpreted as like tough love. It's like lessons learned through discipline and oftentimes challenge, things being ripped away from you like all of a sudden to teach you a lesson. It's definitely not like a gentle, easy energy, but it is super important, and it's an energy that affects us all at some point in our lives. So yeah, you may be going through your Saturn return, in which case you could be reevaluating basically every aspect of your daily life. Sometimes it might feel kind of out of nowhere. You're like, wow, like I just thought everything was okay in my life, and one day I woke up and I realized like I don't resonate with any of these people. I don't like my job. You know, it's that kind of thing often comes up in our Saturn return. Or it's just like a deepening of self-mastery in another way. You know, a lot of people around that time in their lives are getting married, graduating college, having kids. You know, if you like those traditional values and that's something that you want, obviously that's not for everybody, so only take that if that resonates. But even those things can bring up feelings of fear and confusion, because it's such a huge lifestyle change. So yeah, regardless of what this is, it's definitely cracking you open and forcing you to just like be totally honest with yourself. But if you push through those moments of fear, it's going to lead you to this like beautiful light at the end of the tunnel, and you're just going to feel a lot more confident and in control. There may be some things you're experiencing right now that are beyond your control, and you may be feeling the pull of that affecting you, but it's telling you to trust it, because it's just a divine timing thing, and even if it feels intense, it's not the end of the world. Wow, yeah, the universe has your back. The universe has your back. You're being reborn. It's all the imagery in this card is just like cosmic womb energy. I don't even know how to describe it. Yeah, you're being reborn. You're entering a phase of uncertainty because you haven't existed in this version of yourself yet, or it may be very new to you, but yeah, you can trust the unfolding. You can absolutely trust the unfolding. I'm going to read this card. The universe symbolizes the law of universality. You are the universe, like the center stone you possess within yourself, a universe of possibilities. What you can see in your mind's eye exists. Like Michelangelo, you can sculpt anything out of yourself: a flower, a city, a god, a star. Like the stone, which is crazy because, again, so much stone energy in this reading. Like the stone, you are whole and perfect. But as the uncompleted sculpture, the awakening giant, your life is an unfinished process. Always in a state of becoming, you are simultaneously completing and beginning. The universe within is emerging as you grow more aware, emotionally expressive, and physically regenerated. You are recreating your life through death and rebirth and building for yourself a new universe of new people and places. Your problem is where to move and what to do. You are overloaded with possibilities. Confused and indecisive, you become paralyzed. Like the stone, you become stiff and stuck, unable to change. Basically, I mean, that's pretty self-explanatory, but essentially what I'm getting from this is it's super important for you right now to develop some type of like grounding practice that can get you out of these states of fear and confusion. Because if you can move past that, you're gonna get everything you're trying to manifest right now, regardless of what arena that is in your life. I think the worst thing you can do right now is stay in a rigid state. I mean, don't beat yourself up if you're having some trouble moving the momentum forward. But trust that the universe has your back, and trust that all your experiences have led you to this moment. And your life can be literally whatever you want it to be. I feel like I need to pull one more card. I need to pull an oracle card for this deck. I need to lighten the mood a little bit. Whoa. Perfect setting. Wow, it's this woman painting. She's painting a sunset. Sunsets also make me think of completion. Yeah, it's just this reflective energy. You're taking stock of your life. You're looking back at what did and didn't work for you. And you have your sights set on a new horizon that you want to pursue. You may feel like there's some obstacles in your way, like these mountains right here, but beyond that is the light. Wow. Let me read this card. It also might be talking about environmental changes. Some of you guys may be entertaining the idea of moving. Maybe you're feeling stuck because you don't resonate with where you live and you've been thinking about moving. That could really help you, like shake things up as far as your energy and how you've been feeling. Perfect setting. If you have a goal or vision, be sure to provide the right surroundings for that dream to flourish. Positive self-talk, affirmations, being kind to yourself, celebrating your talents and successes, all of these create fertile soil for your dreams to take root and grow. Sometimes when you push too hard, it can hinder the harmonious unfolding of your journey. Trust the process, relax, and allow nature to take its course. Belief and positive support is needed to accomplish your goal. Keep in mind, nature makes growing and blossoming look effortless, but the secret is in all the details. Position, sun, soil, air, water, and nourishment. Make sure you are taking the steps necessary to attain your perfect environment. So again, if you've been thinking about moving, changing jobs, buying a new house, renting a new apartment, checking out a different city, traveling, I think now would be a good time to explore that. However, do so wisely and really keep your bigger goals in mind, because our environments really affect us. If you're in an environment that feels super supportive and nurturing and loving and like it aligns with what you're trying to create in your life, that's what will happen for you. If you're in an environment that's causing just feelings of like constriction and restriction and narrowness, like I don't know if you can see in this card, but there's this tiny guy that's being like squeezed by these two walls right here. If you're in an environment or in relationships that make you feel small, or if you're like entertaining patterns of behavior that make you feel small or constantly put you in like a space of self-doubt, it's time to get out of that and get things moving, even if you're not entirely sure where you're going yet. Just trust your body and trust where your heart is leading you. I just said leaving, so some of you guys might be leaving things behind that you didn't anticipate you would maybe ever leave behind. But if that's coming up for you, it's all for the unfolding of your highest good and whatever this manifestation is that you're calling in. It's safe to trust that and trust yourself. Okay guys, that was pile 3. Thank you guys so much for checking out this reading. If you watched all 3 of those, I hope something in there resonated. I love watching other people's pick a pile readings, so I'm curious to hear if this resonated with any of you guys. If you watched the reading and you connected with it, please leave me a comment below, and subscribe or share with your friends if you feel called to do so. Thanks for letting me do this reading for you. Hope you guys have a beautiful week, and I'll see you next time.